Off location again, that doesn't mean we can't do a good beer review. Tonight we're going to do the Carolina Brewing Company out of Holly Springs, North Carolina, out of the outskirts of Raleigh. This is their Hop Roar. Never had this before. It's a West Coast style IPA, as it states on the bottom here. IBUs are 85. ABVs are 7.5. This is an interesting brewery. I remember when they opened, and on their bottle here it says brewers of tasty liquids since 1995. They came out well before the craft beer craze started. They've done a lot of different beers. Their pale ale is kind of their flagship beer that I remember started showing up on taps. They've got this really cool lion logo that CBC shows up, and great guys. I've been to the brewery several times, but again, they're really branching out right now to try and do some different beers. I give them a lot of credit for it. Their website is much better. This particular beer, so it uses pale caramel 10, I believe it's pronounced carapils, and Caravienne malts. The hops are Columbus, Centennial, and Citra hops. Then they also add in Chinook, Amarillo, and even more Citra hops in the dry hop process. So it's supposed to have a lot of pine, a lot of grapefruit, tropical notes, spices, floral notes. That's what West Coast IPAs do in terms of their characteristics. I bought this in a 6-pack. Their beers are usually fairly reasonably priced. I think it was $11 for the 6-pack. And again, I mean, they've done a lot of things over the years that they've kind of missed the mark, and some they've done really, really well. So again, I've never had this one. So this is what most of their beers do look like to an IPA mark. Very, very filtered. Very little carbonation, but just enough. Nice foamy head on it. And again, this one is 7.5%. So just like it should, a little too much there. It laces the glass fairly well, and does a pretty good job with the characteristics of and beer of this caliber. So aroma, grapefruit, maybe some lemon, lime, a little bit of orange. Definitely has that pininess to it. So they're going for a West Coast IPA, which definitely lends a lot more to that grassy note, that piney note. That's definitely in there. You can definitely smell the Chinook hops in here, and probably the Columbus hops as well. Dry hop with Citra. I mean, it's got a little bit of that kind of like what I call like a citrus juice aroma, but it's a little bit kind of overshadowed with some of the other hops. But it definitely has that West Coast characteristic they're going for. So cheers. As I say, let's get into the glass. That is about as West Coast I have tasted in a while from an East Coast brewery. It's got that pungent, very, very pronounced piney start and finish. It's got that kind of earthy, grassy note to it that kind of starts as well from start to finish on the palate. A little bit of grapefruit, a little bit of orange, and then boom, right at the end, this is this explosion of this hop pounding of your palate in a good way. This is one of their better beers. I'm really hard on IPAs because personally for my palate, that's what I enjoy the most for style of beers. And when I rate an IPA, I really get, I'm getting verklempt. I get very kind of personal about it. Like, would I buy this again? Is this worth you buying it? Which is why you're watching this video. I would probably give this beer a 3.5 to a 4. We rate our beers between 1 and 5. This beer is close to really hanging with the big boys, but at its price point for a West Coast style IPA, it's really good. So a lot of the beers that I buy that are what I would call much more higher caliber for a 6-pack could be $15, $16, $17, $18, $22 once you price it out per ounce or more sometimes for what they are. at the price point this is at, this is a very, very good and spot on representation of a piney with a little bit of kind of flair to it West Coast IPA. They did a very good job with this beer. So Hop Roar, Carolina Brewing Company, that's what it looks like. Again, I already rated it, but I would buy this again, and I'll tell you again, not just because of the price point, but because it's got enough of a uniqueness to it where nothing is overpowering. It's well balanced. It drinks really well. All their beers are exactly like what I showed you. They're filtered. They're easy to drink. They've got a nice finish to them. They kind of please the masses, as I call it on my reviews. So I would buy it again. I would buy this before their pale ale, which is their flagship. Again, nothing wrong with that beer, but just kind of kicks it up a nickel, and it's pretty good. So let us know if you tried it, please. Leave comments on our YouTube channel or website, MikeGarreauBeerReviews.com. We upload all the time. Appreciate you watching. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, and as always, we will see you again real soon. Cheers.